Welcome to a new episode of the Guru Perspective. And today I want to talk about what happened in both men and women basketball in the tournament. I'm going to start off with the men's side with the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and now the two teams that are the four teams is going to compete, for the Final Four. And then I'm going to go into the ladies bracket from the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and the Final Four. It's very interesting, too, because I definitely think that I had to change your heart on who I think is going to win in the ladies bracket. It's probably going to shock my boy. I don't think that it should because I'm starting to see a healthy team on display with Gene Oriama. And I would be surprised if they don't come out of it and win it all this year because UConn is the hottest team, and they seem like not only just defensively but offensively they're clicking. And I want to get started right now, and unfortunately, I want to start off with the bad news. I want to start off with, the Michigan Wolverines versus Auburn. It was a really good matchup, and Michigan hung until they couldn't hang no more. There's a bunch of young guys on that team, and they got some really good, scrappy players. So I expect them to be back stronger than ever, and they'll bounce back for sure. Danny Wolf had 20 points in that game, and he looked electrifying. I'm definitely glad that we got him. I love Hunter Dickerson, but yeah, I'm definitely glad that we have Danny Wolf now. He's definitely the exception. Johnny Broom had 22 points and then he had 16 rebounds. He was everywhere and he was basically the little engine that could. And that's what helped them get past this round in the Sweet 16. That final score was 78-65. And I feel like for Michigan to get to the Sweet 16, it was a shocker. I didn't think that they were going to get this far this year, but they played some of their best basketball in the tournament. And I only expect for them to play better next season. I want to go to Ole Miss now. Ole Miss and Michigan State. That was a really good one right there. Ole Miss basically gave them all they can handle. I thought Michigan State was going to actually lose that game, but they rallied and had a nice comeback victory. And, just was really happy because both Michigan teams were playing, but then Michigan State ended up advancing. Um, Jace Richardson, Jason Richardson's son, to play for Michigan State, of course. He played for the Golden State Warriors and other teams around the league. His son played really solid basketball. He had 20 points in that game. And I just feel like Michigan State has a lot of good young talent too over there. So Michigan and Michigan State going to be X factor in a lot of these tournaments coming up soon. I would definitely like for one of them at least to win a championship moving forward. I want to start off right now too, and I want to talk about Florida and Maryland. This was a really good game right here. The thing is, Maryland was a really good team. We beat them this year, which shocked me to win, the actual Big Ten tournament. But they got some really scrappy good players over there too, and Angel Reese's little brothers over there, and they look pretty good. But Florida, it was too much of them, man. Will Richards had 15 points, and I just feel like with Florida, they're a really big and scrappy physical team. It reminds me of the Florida teams back in the early 2000, when they had Joakim Noah and a lot of those guys on the team, and Al Horford. It reminded me of those days. They look really good, and I think the Florida program, when it comes to basketball, is definitely back full effect. Texas Tech and Arkansas. This was a good one. Arkansas should have beat them, but last second efforts. I felt like they rallied and came back. Texas Tech, and surprising part about it wasn't even JT Toppin who had the leading scorer of the game. It was Christian Anderson. He had 22 points. JT Toppin chimed in with 10 rebounds in that game. That 85-83 victory basically let me know that those guys over in Texas Tech definitely stepping up into the big dance, and it's just a lot of good teams that's going in the tournament, a lot of young talent that I'm looking forward to seeing in the near future. Duke, man, Duke and Arizona was a really good game. That was going blow for blow. It's just too much big physical talent. You got a lot of NBA ready bigs over there in Duke. And I'd be surprised if a lot of them stay next season. I would definitely be surprised if Cooper Flag decides that he's going to stay and stay to collegiate career and don't go in the NBA. I think that he'll definitely be the overall number one overall pick if he decides to leave. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting and seeing what's going to happen there and how that materializes. Caleb Love had 35 points. Cooper Flag had 30 points and 6 rebounds. Really good game, but I felt like Duke pulled through. It was 100-93. That was the final score, and Duke moved on. And Alabama played BYU. You know, my homeboy Ebuck was saying that he thought that BYU was going to have an upset. But one thing that he do know too is you live by that three and you die by that three. Alabama was getting clamped, at one point, but they shot exceptionally well in this game right here. They had 113 points and broke a NCAA record with 25 threes. Mark Sears had 34 points and Grant Nelson had 10 rebounds in that game. It was a really good game. And now I'm about to go to the games after that now, going into the Elite Eight. My Elite Eight was some really solid teams. Auburn had a big lead over Michigan State, and Michigan State just rallied at the end, but it was too little too late. They were down by too much and didn't really have a comfort zone to really try to get a full-fledged comeback victory. When you're down like that, it is no way you're going to come back. But they showed effort and they showed grit too. So I was proud of the Michigan State Spartans. Jackson Collier had 17 points in that game with 11 rebounds. And Johnny Broome do what he do all the time, and that's just dominate. He had 25 points and 14 rebounds. So Auburn advanced, and of course, you have Florida and Texas Tech. Really good, hard fought battle. I really thought at one point Texas Tech was going to pull this off because they looked like they were primed for the upset, but it's too much with Florida. They clamped down at the end of the game and did what they had to do, and they pulled off a really good victory over a solid team. Walter Clayton Jr. had 30 points, and Thomas Hogg had 11 points. 11 rebounds. JT Toppin had 11 rebounds as well, and Darian Williams had 23 points to go along with that. The score was 84-79. I was really surprised because, like I said, I really thought Texas Tech was going to pull that off. They played well until they didn't at the very end. But I definitely feel like they're going to be one of those teams to be back next season. I even had them being ranked in the top 5 next season, how good they played. I want to move on now. And I want to talk about number 1, Duke against number 2, Alabama. Duke bully ball those guys. Like I said, they got a lot of physical and they got a lot of strong NBA built body guys over there. And they have a really good team, more than anything, a recruiting class. That never changed in Duke ever since the Coach K days. Liberian Phillin had 16 points, but Cooper Flag had 21 points. No, I'm sorry. Khan Kunapel had 21 points. Cooper Flag had 9 rebounds. So he wasn't even really the reason why they didn't really have to use him like that game. But yeah, they blew out Alabama. They bullied them in the middle, and they played good ball, good defense, and they were shooting good threes and perimeter baskets. I definitely feel like out of all the teams, Duke is probably the best team still left in the tournament. That's my opinion. Number 1, Houston versus number 2, Tennessee. Chaz Lanier had 17 points in that game, and LJ Cryer had 17 points as well for Houston. Really good game until it wasn't, because Houston was blowing them out really big time too. I thought it was over at the half because they was up by like almost 20. It was 19-point lead at the half. And when Tennessee tried to come back, it wasn't nothing going on for them. They couldn't even make a really strong impact trying to come back on these guys. It was too much when it came to just being better players and having more talent with Houston. I'm starting to see that now too this year, because when you look at the NIL and the money that they're paying these guys, you're not going to really see any upsets like I said before. When you get these NIL deals, you're paying for some of the best players and the best talent that it is in college. And so when you get these guys, man, you're going to have the best talent and you're going to have the best bang for your buck. But the cool part about it was all number 1s and number 2s in this. and all number ones advanced. So I really thought that was a cool one right there. Definitely like that the strongest team survive. And I want to go ahead and I want to make my prediction for the final four now before I get into the women's bracket. Okay, you have Auburn and Florida. I actually have Florida beating Auburn. I got them in an upset, and it shouldn't be an upset because they have a really talented team. Auburn have a good team too, but I just think that this is a game where they're not going to play as well as they have been. And I think Florida is going to keep up what they have, the momentum that basically they've been playing with all in this playoffs. They look really good in the tournament right now. And I just don't see that changing. They all have good athletes, but I just think Florida is a more talented team. That's my opinion. But yeah, I got Florida moving on to the final championship game. Duke and Houston. This one was a hard one for me because Houston played well all year and Duke played just as good too. They're only one game apart. But like I said, I just still feel like Duke has the best players because they're all NBA ready and they got really a good, solid physical team over there. They play a lot of booty ball over there. They got the bigs, they got the guys who can shoot the perimeter shot, the threes. They are the most sound team that's still left in the tournament, and I have them advancing. And of course, I have Duke winning it all. I want to say at this point too, with all you guys, when you want to contact me and get with me right now, I've been working on things in the studio. Haven't really been feeling that well today, but still wanted to crawl up here and do a show because I feel like I owe you guys that. The weather's been funny in Michigan, man. We'll have a day where it's 65 and then you'll turn around and it's like 30 degrees. So yeah, I got caught with a little bug, a little cold bug. So I'm here right now and trying to give you guys some of the best news and give you a show today. And I will definitely get into part two with the women from the Sweet 16 to the championship game and who I predict as the champions. Two, definitely want you guys to see, oh man, with that being said, I would like to say thank you all for chiming in. And I'm about to go to part two of the episode. And I want to talk about what's going on in the women's bracket and who I'm predicting who's going to be the champions in the last women standing.